write, design, build, record, code, whatever it is that you do, focus on writing it out, creating this thing that you're doing, whether it's an actual website, a design, a graphic, a post, whether it's an idea for a mailer that you've got, whether it's the right script for a client or the event that you're going to do, outlining it, that's creating. So I was outlining what I'm calling the creator's loop on my Remarkable. I do a lot of thinking on this device. Great device, by the way. If you don't have one, might be something that you can pick up. But this creator's loop goes through a few of the things that I do when I'm looking to create things, but also make sure that they have value. And this applies to businesses. It applies to social media, obviously. It just applies to your growth. And I was challenged to call it like a growth loop or some type of a compass, but I stuck with the creator's loop. Here's what it is on a really summarized outline, really fast. Here we go. Learn. This is what you're going to do. You learn. You think about what you learned. You start creating from that process. And then once you create it, you share it. I call it connect. You connect it to other people because they're going to give you feedback. There's a connection, right? And then you may tweak it. And then you think revenue. Is this something of value to other people that can create an opportunity to create future revenue or immediate revenue for me? And then, depending on all of that, I adapt. And then I go to learning again. So it's learn, think, create, connect, revenue, adapt, and then learn again. It's a little loop that I made, and I have it outlined for you. Obviously, if you need this, message me. I'll send this over to you. Here's what I've got. Under learn, I've got feed your brain new inputs that expand your perspective. Read articles, books, listen to podcasts, research, decide how it is that you learn best. For me, it's been, at this point, I'm just a learner. I love listening to podcasts. I take a lot of notes through it. I love reading, taking notes. I love reading articles, books, watching YouTube videos, whatever it is. I want you to learn, watch, and listen intently so that you're taking notes. I think the piece that we're missing from learning sometimes is that you aren't taking notes about what you think of this. Either audio notes, right? Or you could text yourself. You could write them down. But you've got to take time to learn. And it could be you jumping into ChatGPT and saying, hey, what can I learn here today? Let's take a look. And it could start with something simple like, hey, ChatGPT, what do most people using AI miss? How can I learn to use ChatGPT better? Create a 30-day plan for me to use ChatGPT better. In fact, I just came up with that. That's actually a really good one. I'm going to write that one down. That's a good one. 30-day AI learning, and just ask ChatGPT. Ask it. Done. I'm going to put it under tasks because I know there's a little task section here. GPT-4o will allow you to do tasks. All right. Learn. That's learn. Think. Number 2. Process what you've learned and mentally shape what comes next. A lot of the times when we're learning, we don't take time to think through it. Journaling, journal the takeaways, write them down, brainstorm. Like I did with this thing that we're talking about right now. I outlined this after just taking time I was listening to a podcast and I'm like, wait, I have a process. Let's flesh it out. What does this look like? I made this little graph, like a picture graph, and then I had a picture of it with my phone, and then I put it into ChatGPT. I say, hey, what am I missing here? It said it looks complete, and then it gave me some details. I'm like, okay, let's expand on this, right? Now I'm thinking. And now I don't have to think alone. Like literally, you could think with AI, right? So think about this, brainstorm, map ideas out. Here's a question. How does this change the way I see or approach my work? Number 3, create. Turn your thoughts into something tangible and valuable. Write, design, build, record, code, whatever it is that you do, focus on writing it out, creating this thing that you're doing, whether it's an actual website, a design, a graphic, a post, whether it's an idea for a mailer that you've got, whether it's the right script for a client or the event that you're going to do, outlining it, that's creating, right? Whatever this looks like. For me, I'm thinking, well, I put out a lot of content for the consumer real estate wise. So I'm thinking, how can I get some of this data that I have, that I thought through, that I learned about, and then tweak it so that it makes sense to the consumer that I'm trying to attract. And I'm going to create this. And then the piece that sometimes we miss is what I call connect. This is where I share what I've created in an open channel. Best place to do it is social media, because you'll get instant feedback. And feedback is also no likes, no comments, no shares, nothing. That's feedback, right? Also, feedback is people saying, hey, I don't understand this. Or what did you mean by this? Hey, that's stupid. Take a look, right? And see, what can I change? How can I improve the next one? Or how can I improve this one? So I like to post it to social, email it to friends, maybe post it up on Slack, maybe to our team, put it in a community, share with friends, see what they think, and engage with this audience. Listen. Connecting is part of listening, right? Because I put this out, you give me feedback, and I'm inviting the dialogue and the criticism as soon as I put it out there. And then I collaborate. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, really? Maybe not. Here's how it actually works, right? So be open to all of this. I always ask, who needs this and what might they say back? Number 5, revenue. Forget about this piece sometimes, right? Revenue isn't what you normally think. Of course, it's money. But I put here, ensure that what you've created connects and translates into value. Because if it doesn't have value, you won't get actual value from it. So that's a big one. Track what activities are moving the business or income forward, obviously. Are you getting any transactions from this? Are people raising their hand and saying, this is amazing? In fact, what does this mean? I'd like to use your services, right? If we're making mailers, we put them out there, we test them out, we send them, and like, okay, people are raising their hand and calling us back. We made these lead ads and the graphics, and now we're getting clients. We dropped a message by text or voicemail, and the script that we're using is working and people are coming back to us. That's all revenue. That's all value that you're offering that's coming back in the form of some type of either immediate revenue or future revenue. Adapt. Refine based outcomes. This is how you continually look at what you did and say, got it, what can I learn from this? Sometimes we don't even take time to reflect. We send out the postcard and we're like, yeah, it's done. It didn't work. But we don't go back and say, one person responded. I'm going to call them up and see why they responded. What else can I tweak? Can I change the wording? Maybe it's the wrong wording for the wrong demographic of where I mailed to, right? Start thinking, reflecting. Reflect on what's worked, or maybe nothing worked. Maybe something worked. And I have here adjust your strategy, message, or systems based on feedback. And sometimes there is no feedback out there because it just didn't work. So throw it in ChatGPT. If that's a mailer, throw the script in there. Have communication back and forth with the AI and fix it and adapt, because this is never going to change. Sometimes the message needs to change because the market is different, right? And so you have to start thinking this way, because once you adapt, once you adapt, once you start looking and reflecting back, taking time to do that, you go back to the very beginning and you start learning. So learn, think, create, connect, revenue, and adapt. And then you start learning again and again and again. So this is what I call the creator's loop. I had a different name originally, but I stuck with the creator's loop. If you have any questions, let me know. This episode was brought to you by abrillianttribe.com. We'll go over stuff like this at a high level and then dive deep into it just to make you a better real estate agent. Have an awesome day.